Hi, my name is Laurel from Laurel's Originals. Hi, many of you know me. Um, what I've been hearing from you is you don't feel like you're creative, or you know you have some creativity, but you're not really an artist. And I used to feel like that. And when I was like in second grade, uh, I remember I was drawing all the time. I won first prize in the art contest in the first grade, okay? And I was drawing all the time, and I used to draw people's faces and horses, and it was just something I loved to do. And one day I went home from school and I was talking with my mom on the couch, and I had this little tiny scrap of paper, and with the pencil I just started looking at her and sketching her face. And at one point she looked at it and she said, "Wow, Laurel, that's really good." And it was just a tiny little sketch. It had her freckles, it had her haircut, and it looked really good. And she said, "You should go show that to your teacher." Now, I loved my teacher. I was with this person 5 days out of the week, and her approval was something that was really important to me. And I didn't think to show it to my teacher, but my mom said, "You should show it to your teacher." And so the next day I showed her, "Look what I drew. This is my mom." And she said, "Oh, it looks really nice. I'm sure she helped you a lot with it." And I said, "No, no, I did it all by myself." And she said, "Yeah." And she didn't believe me. She didn't believe me. And I felt devastated. And I put the label on myself that I'm not really an artist. It was just like downloaded that belief about myself. But I kept, drawing, and mostly drawing and sketching. It was never much of a painter. And then there was a stretch of time where I didn't do any art. I was singing and dancing in high school. And as soon as I got my passport at 18, I was out of there. I was traveling and surfing. But I came to Costa Rica in 1977. And after a few years, a friend of mine was painting t-shirts and showed me how to paint t-shirts. So I got some paint and some t-shirts, and I started painting for fun. And in the early 80s is when international tourism started to develop here in Costa Rica. There were young people just like myself in their 20s who were coming to Costa Rica, and they were developed whitewater rafting and sport fishing and all kinds of fun activities so that they could make a life in Costa Rica. And as that happened, and the tourists were coming, then there were shops developing, but there was really no development of souvenirs for tourism. And a little shop in Cahuita on the Caribbean coast, where I lived in Costa Rica, asked me if I would paint t-shirts and paint Costa Rica or Cahuita on the t-shirt. So I did like a little toucan or a hibiscus flower, and it developed into a whole business. As it grew, I had a distributor. We sold them all over the country. I got my own material. I contracted out sewing. We made dresses, we made blouses, we made children's clothes. I had a whole crew of women who were painting and drawing, and they were beautiful, but I didn't consider it art. I didn't consider it art because I'm not an artist. So then I developed a line of canvas bags, and beautiful designs on the canvas bags, but never considered it art. And it wasn't until I started painting canvas rugs. Now, you may know them more as canvas floor cloths, and but that doesn't translate in Spanish, so I call them alfombras de lona, which then translated into canvas rugs. And when I first started, I was actually painting rug designs. I was looking in interior design magazines and, rug magazines, and kind of doing rug designs on my canvas rugs. And it wasn't until my daughter asked me to do the circle design. Now, if you haven't seen the circle design, you can look at my shop page at laurelsoriginals.com and you'll see some that are offered for sale. And what it is has a solid background and all these different colors of circles with a design within each circle. And when I did that first circle design rug, I just let my freak flag fly. I had so much fun. And that's when my canvas rugs started selling, when I was putting my art on the rugs. And then people started putting them on their walls, And I went, oh, they're putting it on their walls. Maybe I am an artist. I am an artist. Okay, and then people started asking me to teach them how to paint canvas rugs. So I would like to invite you to come to my studio. And if you're interested, if you're an artist, or if you're an artist in Costa Rica, or if you're visiting Costa Rica, and even if you're not an artist, we'll bring that out in you. And you can come to the studio and learn lots of different techniques on how to paint and make canvas rugs and put your art on the floor. And if you can't come here, I do have video courses. If you sign up to laurelsoriginals.com, you will get for free the first 2 videos of my course on how to make a canvas rug. One video is about the kind of canvas and resources in the United States, and the other video is how to prepare that canvas before you start to sew. So there's one course, a paid course on how to sew your canvas rug, and another one that I called my toolbox of techniques with many of the things that we do here in the studio to paint canvas rugs. And you can go into the shop page at laurelsoriginals.com and you can see the courses and all the videos and everything before you make a decision to buy. And if you're on my email list, Canvas Rug Crafters or design email, they're all about my stories of living here in Costa Rica, and my latest projects, working with clients, how we develop a design, how the custom designs are made for each individual home, and lots of tips and tricks on how to make your own canvas rugs. And I love it when you hit reply and tell me how you're doing and give me your story. So I want to thank you so much for joining me here, and I hope to see you soon. I hope that you join my email list and we get to have a correspondence, or I would love it if you could come to the studio and we could paint together here in Costa Rica. All right, till then, take care. Bye-bye.